Good morning. I am Enrico Penales from first year BS Ed Mathematics of the University of Mindanao. I am going to teach mathematics for grade 10 third quarter. Here, I present my lesson plan following the 4A's format. Today, I will be showcasing a brief demo as a presenter and as a teacher, showing the activity, analysis, abstraction, and application. However, the review, learning objectives, assessment, and assignment will only be in a presentation way. For today's lesson, we have permutations and combinations, and we have three objectives that students should be able to achieve at the end of the lesson. The first objective that falls in the cognitive domain is determine whether a problem requires permutation or combination using counting techniques. The second objective that falls in the psychomotor domain is to perform correct permutations and combinations using the respective formulas. The third objective, which falls in the affective domain, is to explain how permutations in the real world affect how we manage our choices through a short skip. Now let's say a classroom routine is already established by prayer, the greetings, and the checking of the students' attendance. Now for the review. There will be a problem given to the students. A wheel roulette with all the names of the students will choose the student who will answer the problem. If that student cannot answer in 1 minute, someone can steal the chance to answer the problem. Now before we start the lesson, I want you to remember that in permutation, order is important. It is the arrangement of objects in a set. Like for example, ABC is not ACB, and ACB is not BCA. They have the same samples, but if arranged differently, they are different. In combination, however, order is not important. It is the selection of objects in a set regardless of order. Like for example, ABC is still equal to ACB and ACB is still equal to BCA. Now class, you can see that there are scrambled letters. Now I want you within 2 minutes to arrange and spell out as many words as you can. Time starts now. Now class, I want you to realize that what you did earlier was a permutation. You calculate possibilities of what words you can spell out of the scrambled letters when you start with A. Like the words you spelled out ant, aim, and arm. You use counting techniques in your mind to form the words. Maybe if you start with A, you go with N to form ant, maybe A to go to I and form aim, and A to arm. Yeah, many possibilities. But remember, this is permutation and order is important. Like for example, you gave the words eat, tea, tame, mate. They have the same exact samples, but they are not the same words. Eat is not tea, tame is not mate, art is not rat, earn is not near. And here are the other examples you gave. For this next activity, I want you to shake hands with anyone in the classroom. You don't need to stand up, just anyone near where you are sitting. Now I want you to list the people you shook hands with. You are given 1 minute to do so. Time starts now. Now settle down, arrange your chairs. This is the counting technique that goes on your mind when we did the activity. Like for example, Jody shook hands with Adrian. On Adrian's perspective, Adrian shook hands with Jody. Now, I ask you, is it the same that Jody shook hands with Adrian and Adrian with Jody? And yes, it is the same. Remember this combination. Order is not important. Jody shook hands with Adrian, but Adrian also shook hands with Jody. Jody shook hands with Charles, Charles with Jody, Jody with Kenneth, and Kenneth with Jody. It is all the same. Order is not important in combination. And now I want to divide the class into two groups. Maybe this row can be group 1 and that row can be group 2. Now there will be a roster of 1 to 31 numbers using two samples. Determine how many permutations and combinations you can make. Now, I want you to execute the teamwork here because there are a lot of permutations possible from this, and I want you to make a list of all the permutations, at least one copy per group. Now, do not throw away the permutations after you have done listing all of it because I will make you use it for an assignment later. Now I will give you 5 minutes to solve the problem and list all the permutations. You can use these formulas in the board to use for reference while you solve. Time starts now. Okay, I have witnessed how much you've learned through the discussion. Now I will spin the wheel of names, and whoever is chosen by the wheel will wrap up the lesson. I will spin the wheel now. Okay, Angel. Now, Angel, what I want you to do is to generalize, give a short summary of our lesson, permutations and combinations. You may include ideas of the counting techniques and the formulas that I have provided you. Give at least one example of a permutation and a combination. You may start now. Now, I want to divide the classroom into two groups. How about we use the groups that we have divided earlier? Are you okay with that? Okay, we'll use that group and that group as the two groups. Okay, now what I want you to do is to do a short skit of humans struggling with choices in life. Using the concept of permutations and combinations, provide examples of how humans can solve these kinds of problems. Now I want to request a representative from each group who will share the explanation of their skit and some insights of how these concepts can help us in the real world. Now I will give you maybe 10 minutes to brainstorm with your group what you want to perform in the short skit. Your time starts now. For the evaluation, a 50-item long quiz consisting of two parts will be given to the students. For the first part, the students will be given a 30-item problem set that consists of both non-word and word problems. Here are the first 30 items of the long quiz. For the second part, students will write a reflective essay with a minimum of 100 words about the importance of knowing how to solve probabilities through permutations and combinations, especially in decision making in our daily lives. The students must include their learnings, realizations, and the dangers of not careful decision making. This is worth 20 points, overall 50 points. Now for the assignment, it will be connected to the list of permutations they made earlier regarding the Easy to Lotto with a roster of 1 to 31. The students will be given a scenario that the Easy to Lotto has a winning prize of 2 million pesos and 10 people who drew combinations for the lottery. The students will then be asked to solve the probability and chances of the drawers to win a prize. In addition, the students will also solve all the possible shares on different numbers of winners of the winning draw. The winning draw of the whole lottery scenario will be given to the students tomorrow. It will become an introduction for a new topic, which is the probability. Now for the reflection, I actually reflected a lot and realized a lot. I want to start with my struggles because the experience was kind of difficult, how difficult it was for me, and how it was hard for me, how it was challenging for me. Um, like for example, putting objectives, setting objectives. It might sound it's easy, but it's really not that easy. And like the insecurities, like how would the child look at you when you are teaching? Do I look good? Do I deliver the knowledge properly? Do I transfer the knowledge properly? Yeah, there are many attacks of insecurities that may come on while teaching, and also the time you put on the students, the effort that you put in the students is really heavy. Like every night you plan, brainstorm on what you are teaching. You will worry about the flow of the lesson, and you will spend all night making the lesson plan. And you are doing that because of passion, the want to transfer the knowledge to the next generation. And now I actually fear something, like like maybe I will miss a spot where I don't teach them. Like every single small piece of detail is very important for them to develop their knowledge. I realize the mentality of uh, nah, that's easy, like saying that lesson is easy or students don't need that in the future is really scary, and you don't want to put that mentality in mind, because students might get that idea wrong, and they might be in trouble in the future if you are that kind of teacher. And now I will train harder to become a better teacher. It might be still a very long way to go for me to become an um, fully established teacher, but I will train harder. And thanks for this course, thanks for this subject that it made me experience, even though it's virtual and like there are imaginary students, but this give me a glimpse of how, even a glimpse of how it is so hard to actually teach properly. It's not hard to teach, but to teach properly is another term. Yeah, that's all. Thank you, ma'am. God bless. Stay safe.